G'day folks, welcome to another KOTW review video. Today we're going to discuss satellite communicators, specifically the three big names in this space: Garmin, Zoleo, and the ACR Bivy Stick. If you're looking for specific info on one of these gadgets or the costs involved in running these in Australia, feel free to use the chapters below to skip to that part of the video. So let's start with, why do I need a satellite messenger? Well, technically you don't need one. There are plenty of other methods to signal, from signal flags to PLBs. Some are more efficient than others, and some are also a lot more costly than others. You can buy PLBs for around about the same price as the Zoleo communicator at the moment, with the advantage, of course, that the PLB doesn't require a subscription for you to use it. Also with the PLB, if you hit the SOS button, the call goes straight to a government agency, whereas the communicators use private companies. So why did I pick a satellite communicator over a PLB? Well, I do a lot of solo camping and hiking, fishing, things like that. And my wife always likes to know that I'm safe. So with a communicator, I can just send her a message to say, yep, I'm safe, I've arrived, I've set up camp, things like that. Also, if you do send an SOS with the communicator, the rescue team can communicate with you and either find a solution for your problem and then not sending out a rescue team, or obviously they can send out a rescue team if you really need it. Living in Australia, we pretty much have no phone signal as soon as you leave a metro region. So obviously a communicator is a great idea if you need to talk to someone. With a communicator, you can just send check-in messages, or if you really want to, you can have a text conversation with someone. What's the disadvantage of a communicator? Obviously the cost. So with a PLB, there's no subscription. With a communicator, there's generally a monthly or an annual subscription fee to be able to use the SOS. The other disadvantage, of course, is the SOS goes to a private company, not to a government-owned agency. So it might take longer. I have seen videos where someone's used one of the communicators. They were stuck in a mountain and a snowstorm came in and they didn't get rescued for about 48 hours, which is not ideal. Let's move on to the various devices. We'll start with the Garmin. They have the InReach system, which runs on a few different devices, but their latest one is the InReach Mini 2. They've also recently released the Garmin InReach Messenger, which behaves more like the Zoleo or the ACR Bivy Stick, which we'll look at later in the video. The InReach Mini 2 is different to the other devices in that it has a small 176 by 176 pixel screen to display your tracks or a digital compass. The device connects to Garmin Explore app on your phone to make it more usable than just tapping away on the keys on the actual device. With the Mini 2, the messages are sent via the app, which means that only people with the app will be able to communicate with you, whereas with the other devices, they allow you to communicate via a regular text message to your contacts. The new Garmin InReach Messenger is more like the other two devices in that it sends messages to the regular text app. However, with both Garmin devices, the mobile number linked to the device comes from a pool of numbers, which means a number is not linked to your specific device, so you need to message somebody first before they can reply to you. With the Zoleo, you have a permanent number linked to your device that you can share with friends and family, and they can message you whenever they feel the need to check up on you. Likewise with the Bivy Stick, as long as you have an active subscription. Because the Zoleo and the Bivy Stick don't have screens, the only way to send messages is by linking the device to your phone via Bluetooth. Both devices have their own phone apps. Is this an issue? Not really, because who leaves home without their phone these days? Also, if you happen to have phone signal at the time of sending a message via Zoleo or the Bivy Stick, it will use your mobile plan instead of using the satellite messaging, which is obviously free. Just to reiterate though, all three devices can be used to send check-in messages or SOS messages without being connected to your phone. All you do is click the little send message button on the side of the device. All three devices are waterproof, but the Zoleo wins out with an IP68 rating. The Bivy Stick and the InReach Mini 2 are only rated to IPX7. All three devices use the Iridium satellite network, which means you get coverage globally except for at the extreme poles. The Mini 2 and the Bivy Stick both weigh 100 grams, while the Zoleo weighs around 150 grams. With regards to battery life, the Mini 2 quotes 14 days with 10-minute tracking, the Zoleo quotes 200 hours with regular use, and the Bivy Stick quotes up to 120 hours with standard operation at default settings, which means 10-minute tracking intervals. All three devices are small enough to be attached to a backpack for hiking, but the InReach Mini 2 is the smallest. The Bivy Stick has a 1/4-inch screw mount similar to a camera tripod for mounting on your vehicle or in your boat. As mentioned previously, if you purchase a Zoleo or a Bivy Stick in Australia, you are assigned an Australian mobile number which will be linked to your device. To keep the number active, you need to have a subscription in place. If you cancel the subscription, you will lose the number. In the case of the Zoleo, you can suspend the subscription but keep the number by paying a monthly fee to retain that number. You can suspend the subscription with the other two devices too, but in the case of the Bivy Stick, you will lose your number and be assigned a new number when you reactivate the subscription. Also, please note, if you do not have a subscription for any of these three devices, the SOS button will not work. So, what do these devices cost to run in Australia? We'll start by looking at purchase price. The Garmin InReach Mini 2 is the most expensive at around $600 recommended retail price. Next is the Bivy Stick at around $499 recommended retail price. And finally the Zoleo at a recommended retail price of about $350. If you would like to support my channel, there are two links in the description to purchase the Mini 2 or the Zoleo, and I will receive a small commission from the purchase. Now the cost of the subscriptions, and it's more complex than it actually looks. On the screen is the monthly fee for the basic subscription for each device on a casual basis. I'm using casual subscription because I currently only use the device for about 3 months of the year. I'm a bit of a fair weather camper. The Garmin costs $25 per month, which includes 10 text messages, free preset check-in messages, and tracking intervals of 10 minutes or more. Any message over 10, you will be charged at 75 cents per message. Incoming messages also count towards your message count. The Zoleo is $32 per month, but includes more text messages, 25 to be exact. However, the 25 also includes any check-in messages that you may send. Also, if you want tracking, this will cost you another $7.95 per month on top of the $32 fee, but it will give you unlimited check-ins. The Bivy Stick costs $30 per month, for which you will receive 20 credits. These credits go towards your text messages and your tracking. You have unlimited free check-in messages. Tracking credits are used as per the image currently shown on the screen. Also, any unused credits will roll over from month to month. That's the simple cost breakdown, but there's more. The Garmin requires an initial activation fee and an annual program fee which is charged on the anniversary of your first activation. There is no charge to suspend the service, but there is a charge to reactivate it every time. There is a minimum 30-day contract on their Freedom Plan. For the Zoleo, there is currently a $40 activation fee and a minimum 3-month contract. To suspend the subscription without losing the mobile number that's attached to your device, there is a $6 per month fee. If you cancel your subscription completely to avoid paying the $6 fee, you will then need to pay the $40 activation fee to start using the device again. With the Bivy Stick, there's no activation fee or annual fee. However, the initial activation is a minimum 2 months on the Plus plan or higher, so a minimum of $110 for the first 2 months. There is no fee to suspend the service and no reactivation charge, but you will lose your dedicated mobile number and get a new one when you reactivate. Displayed on the screen at the moment is a breakdown that I did for myself and the total cost for the first year, including the cost of the device, and then the ongoing running costs over the next 2 years for 3 months use per year. For my specific requirements, the Bivy Stick is the most cost effective. However, if you plan to use the device for more than 3 months of the year or for the full 12 months of the year, or if you require a higher plan, you may find that one of the other devices is better value for money. There are links below to the various plans for each device. Let me know in the comments below your experience with any of these communicators or if you have any questions, and I'll try to answer them for you, as I've done plenty of research before forking out my $500 for a device. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, thanks for watching. Please hit the like button and subscribe for similar videos. Thanks.